Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will return after these messages.
Now take Sir Francis Drake. The Spanish all despise him, but to the British he's a hero and they idolize him. It's how you look at buccaneers that makes them bad or good. And I see us as members of a noble brotherhood. Hup!
Hey ho ho!
Oh, I love it!
Honorable
'Tis
men.
poetry in
And
motion.
before we lose our tempers, we will always count to 10.
On occasion, there may be someone you have to execute.
But when you're a professional pirate,
You don't have to wear a suit. What?
Welcome in, everybody. How's everybody doing? I gotta say, doing the intro videos is probably one of my favorite things to do whenever we have a guest. Justice Pirate, welcome in. How are you? How are you? Welcome.
I am well, thank you. Hello.
Oh, man. Well, we're so happy to have you. One of the few people, actually, that I met originally through Twitch that I've actually met in real life.
That's true.
One of three actually. So there's you, Rob Steady, obviously your husband, and Kappa Kiwi are the three that I did not meet originally outside of Twitch and then met in real life. You know,
I feel
so
special.
yeah, it's a very small club, very small club. But
Yes.
And in fact, in case it's too small, why don't you introduce yourself and a little bit about who you are?
yeah,
All right. Well, I am JusticePirate.
Yeah.
Yes. And I stream on Twitch every Sunday. I used to stream a lot more. Now it's just once a week. And I do a just chatting stream. Sometimes, lately, I've been singing here and there. Sometimes I don't know, do research on different countries, but I haven't been able to do that lately. And I like to travel, so we teach about countries around the world. And that was very fun. Otherwise, I do sometimes reaction videos and I don't know, just random things that I feel like doing once in a while.
yeah.
Now, I ran into you through Twitch Sings, which a fair number of our guests on this show have kind of been a similar backstory. But you're one of the ones that I like to kind of linger and listen to because I believe you call the show, is it Message in a Bottle?
Oh, yes. Message in a bottle.
Yeah.
Here is my bottle. I brought it
real,
for your
chat.
show.
It's real. I find them so nice to listen to. It's so educational and it's so amazing. And no rush, because I know that there's a lot of back end stuff that goes into you studying it, doing it's almost like a PowerPoint presentation plus like a little like performance and everything else. And I'm to understand that you have recently birthed a baby, so I'm
I
sure
have.
that your
Yes.
personal time is probably a
That's-
little bit lessened.
Yes, that's why I'm a little bit of a pudgy pirate lately.
we're not here to body shame. It's
all right. It will go away eventually. I work out.
there you go.
I wish I
I
could
run
make
around
the same
the
excuse.
deck.
Yeah. And how is the wee lad?
Oh, he's doing very well. He's napping right now. He's
Awesome.
quiet. I haven't heard anything, so I guess he's okay. I hope.
Well, if for any reason during the show you need to check up on him, that's absolutely okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Family first. Family first. That's what we always say.
Yes. Yes, I have my own little brood of pirates.
Yeah.
No.
And that's, I guess that's a good point too. This is not your first. You have
No.
other pirates on your crew as well.
This is true. This is my third boy pirate.
Nice.
And he's the one that's taking care of the poop deck right now.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. But not the one cleaning it.
No, that is my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
all right. It's worth it.
Well, hopefully Rob Steady helps out every once in a while with cleaning.
Yes,
that
he
poop deck.
does.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
very good.
Love to see it. Love to see it. He
Now-
is the poop deck, says Destimon.
Now, outside of your message in a bottle, outside of your singing, ooh, as I slap my microphone.
Oh, yes. Real quick, message in a bottle. It's I
Yes.
answer questions and give advice to people. So there's that portion of the stream too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you
Oh,
used
and
to.
Kitty says,
Oh.
sorry, go for it.
No. After you.
Okay.
Totally.
Kitty says, for the record, you look absolutely amazing after having a baby.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, and message in like, so prior to your pregnancy, you actually did a lot of other stuff on the stream too. Primarily, I remember on Saturdays, typically you do a lot of Quake Champions.
That is
And,
right. I was one of the top streamers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which is pretty
Quake
cool.
Champions.
Yeah. And I got a chance to play with you every once in a while. I usually get my butt kicked, but I like
it
to
was
think I
fun.
can sometimes hold my own. But
You did
and-
great.
yeah, it's fun. I mean, I don't play to be the best. I play to have fun, and I think that's the way to do it, right? But what kind of got you into that as well? Like, why Quake Champions? There's so many games out there. What was it that kind of drew you to Quake Champions?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't remember. I think it was just like I found out that Quake Champions, I had played it when it was in like beta originally, like it's still in beta, but when it
Mhm.
first came out and there were just no people playing it. And then I was just like, oh, I have this game here. Let me just stream it and play it a little bit. And it brought a lot of people in. I was like, I guess I'll keep streaming this game. So I think that's what happened.
Heck yeah.
Well, there you go. And the rest, as they say, is history. Awesome. Well, we're going to ask you more questions throughout the show as well, just to, again, kind of get to know you a little bit better and get to know who it is that is Justice Pirate. So, but first, let's hop into our first segment, Ram. And what have we got today?
Yeah.
What have we got today?
Well, of course, you're a pirate. And I know that one of the things that you enjoy is the Olympics. Is that correct?
This is very true.
It's a big passion of yours. What I'd like to pitch to you as a pirate that loves the Olympics is a little kind of segment I like to call Pirate Olympic Events. I would love it if you could give me your pirate opinion on each of these events, maybe like between, I don't know, like 1 to 5 stars or however you sail the seas kind of thing.
Doubloons,
and
maybe?
Doubloons.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. One out of 5 doubloons.
Yeah.
Okay.
And get your opinion on maybe if these would be valid Pirate Olympic events that you would love to see or not.
All right.
All right. So
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, let's
All
put the
right.
first one here, shall we?
Ooh.
So the first one we have is like a sailing race. Now, I couldn't find for the life of me any pirate ships sailing next to each other to accurately depict what I wanted to. So I'm hoping this portrays that. Both of these looking extremely fierce-looking ships. But, you know, whether that's racing around islands or racing back and forth or even just to an island, what's your take on maybe sailing races if that's an Olympic thing for pirates?
Okay. So would this be on land or water?
Preferably
'Cause
would
here
be
we have
water.
land. Okay, water. Okay. Well, I guess it would be a summer Olympic sport. We could also do it on ice, you know, for the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, yeah.
So that could work. I think, you know, I like to watch rowing. So this would be very exciting. And they have sailing and, you know, so it would be really cool to have it in pirate form to watch people race each other through pirate ship instead. And maybe we could have cannonballs, you know, that would be great. Like you could attack kind of like a old school
Full
American
contact.
Gladiator type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even just
I
a
like
question
it.
of like what order you come in, but just even surviving and making it to the finish line is half the battle.
Yes.
Keeping
I
an ear
think-
out for Rob Steady.
Well, yeah, I'm keeping it. Plus, I heard my other son cough, and I was like, "Is which son? Like, what am I hearing?" All right.
Is it the black lung?
Yes, the Black Plague. Watch out. Oh, I
So
didn't give a
I was gonna
rating.
say,
Should
out
I?
of
Sorry,
5
rating.
doubloons.
Yeah.
Out of 5 doubloons, what would you say for the other?
For the other, I love that. I think that's like between 4.5. I'm going to give
4.5. Love to see it.
Perfect.
Love to see
All
it.
right.
That's my bad. My bad.
I'll note that down.
I got too excited.
All right. Next up, we have the peg leg pole vault.
That
I'd
sounds
like to
very
think-
interesting.
I think this one's pretty self-explanatory given the image.
Hmm.
Thoughts?
My question is,
I
how do
think
they do
this-
it?
Now, is this going to be for the Paralympics?
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
The pirate Paralympics.
Yeah, I think this could work for those who are in the Paralympics. You know.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
I don't think this would be good for people that don't have amputated legs, because they're going to have to amputate it to do it, you know, or they're going to maybe lose a leg. I think it's very dangerous. We may have lots of ambulances have to be on call, and I just think this is too dangerous. I don't recommend it. I'm going to give it one doubloon.
Fair. Kitty asking the real questions. How did you find this image, but not two ships racing?
I had to create this image. Okay.
That was very well done.
Yeah. I love how you had. I could definitely see where you had to like get rid of the original vaulting pole that was there, and then draw in the peg leg. Yeah.
That's great.
Well done, sir.
Thank you. So out of 5 doubloons,
She
for
said
the peg
1.
leg. For 1. Okay.
One,
Just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. And this is why I'm asking you as a professional in the field.
Yes, I'm a
so.
professional pirate. We learned.
Would that be a professional in the field or would that be a professional in the sea?
Oh, the sea.
Okay.
It's an important distinction to make.
All right.
Got some digging for treasure here.
Yeah, digging for treasure.
digging for
Whether
treasure.
that's like
Okay.
it's a predetermined position and everyone gets their chance at they've got the map and everything, the exact same clues. Is this a speed thing, or is it just like a how many treasures can you find and bring back in a certain number of time, a certain amount of time?
So I have
What are your
a
thoughts?
question.
Mhm.
So do they actually have treasure buried somewhere?
I would say that this is treasure, maybe perhaps that they haven't buried, but they are going to find
Oh,
without
okay.
prior knowledge of its
Mm.
location.
I think it would be very boring to watch. They're just gonna dig and dig and
Fair,
dig and maybe
fair.
not find anything that we may not find any metal. Like, and
Yeah.
who would get second place because if they don't find anything? I just think it would go downhill too quickly.
What if you put like
Yeah.
2 pirate
Fair.
teams on an island and each one has to bury treasure for the other team to find? And then
Ooh.
whichever one finds the other team's treasure, it's almost like capture the flag, but with buried treasure. You
I
know?
like that.
What are you
Yeah,
thinking?
they're gonna get very dirty. Again, it could be a very long event, but it would
Sure.
be pretty fun.
Be like watching golf. If you're into it, you're
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, golf bores me. I'm so sorry.
That's fair. It's fair.
It's not a good pirate sport, so maybe that's why I'm struggling with this one. But I like the idea. It's nice. I'm gonna go with two. Two
All right.
doubloons.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh no.
Okay.
Hmm.
Digging your grave.
Like digging for treasure, but slightly more fatal.
But different.
Okay. Why are we digging graves of this for our enemy or ourselves?
I mean, I feel like it would be for yourself. It was a very typical piratey thing to be forced to do at the end of a cutlass.
Well, I will say the Olympics, they have had some crime here and there. There have been bombings at Olympics. There have been murders around surrounded Olympics, and there have been Olympians that have died while doing their sports. So, I mean, this could work for some, but I don't know. Like, do you have to die then if you're digging your own grave? Because that won't be fun, and you don't want a gold medal for dying.
No, that's fair. So maybe perhaps it would be more of a how fast could you dig a grave that could potentially be used for you, giving people with more height a bit of a disadvantage because they'll have to either dig deeper or longer.
All right. Yeah, I don't like it.
It's fair.
It's a horrible idea.
I'm
that's
hearing
fair.
one
This will
doubloon.
never make it in the Olympics.
I'm hearing one doubloon.
and
No,
that's
half a
exactly
doubloon.
Half a doubloon, not even. Yeah.
I'm cutting the doubloon in half. Oh my.
I'll make
Digging
sure
your
to
grave, wow.
tell the focus groups we're not going with that one then.
No.
Rob,
cool.
steady. What's going on, buddy? Wouldn't deeper be a rounder person problem?
So he
Fair.
just got here, so he doesn't know what this is that we're doing here.
Sometimes it's best left that way. These are
Yes.
Pirate Olympics or suggested ideas for Pirate Olympics. And we're about to move on to the next one here. So what have we got
Yeah.
here, Ram?
Because they found out I'm obsessed with the Olympics.
Yeah.
A duel to the death.
Wow, we're really having some death stuff here.
Ram got really
Okay,
morbid with
a
this
duel.
one.
I mean, we have fencing in the Olympics, which is very fun to watch.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
So it's like fencing, but without the protection.
Yeah. This is getting very dangerous.
Okay.
I don't like the idea of blood splurting everywhere and the audience having to watch it. This is becoming very much like the gladiator days of the Olympics rather than
Okay.
the Olympics where they
Okay.
actually are trying to stay alive as they do their sport. We're getting like down into the history before the Olympics, and that could be dangerous. But
Okay. I'm getting your feedback. How about we put a little twist on it then?
Okay.
Can you go to the next slide? Let's give this a little bit of a twist and see
Sure.
if this is better for you then. How about a duel till someone gets hungry, sponsored by Pirate Jack's Burger Shack?
Ooh. Is this a real place?
Yes.
Wait, really?
Wow.
Yes.
Where is this?
Yeah,
I
I
must
wanna
go.
go.
I have no idea.
They have vegetarian burgers.
Hmm.
I googled pirate fast food and this is the first one that popped up.
Okay, that's great.
I feel like we
Duel
need to
until
find this
someone
place.
gets hungry. I do think that works a lot better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, that
Yeah.
applies better. All right.
And considering a lot of people in the Olympics have eating disorders, this could be very, very bad, though.
Mm,
But maybe it will encourage them to bulk up,
Right.
and you gotta be hungry and you gotta eat, and this is good. So we'll have some nice, healthy pirates.
you got to pay attention to your body and realize when it's
Right.
hungry, so you don't get scurvy or
Yes.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, that checks out.
Pirate chips. Ooh.
So in terms
All
of
right, so-
doubloons,
Mhm.
did we decide on
Doubloons.
the-
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So a duel until they get hungry. I really like this. This is 3 doubloons.
Three
We're
doubloons?
getting
Okay.
close
Okay.
to a better sport.
Okay,
right.
okay.
All right. Rigging the sails.
Oh.
I feel like this is a very,
Is this like a race?
very on point one to know. It's in regards to actually like, getting the sails up and billowed and out and roped down and tied off
Right.
and, how fast can you go from no sail to full sail?
Oh, okay.
Also, for
This
anyone wanting to
sounds
know,
great.
apparently Pirate Jacks is in Massachusetts.
Oh, good to
Jesus,
know.
let's go. That's not
Hey,
far.
thanks,
That's
Rob.
like 4 hours from me.
That's a little further
Hey,
for us.
there we go.
Yeah, I want to go. We should go find out where that is, and then I could take pictures of us eating there,
Yeah,
Please do.
and we could see who got hungry first. Yeah.
there it is.
Rigging the sails. This is very exciting. I used to do sailing in camp, pirate training camp back when I was a wee lass. And I really enjoyed learning all the knots and having to put the sails up, but it was never as intense as this. Wow. I think this would be really great to see how billowy the sails are. It would be for the pirate nerds for sure,
Oh, definitely.
but I don't think a lot of people will tune into it.
Mm.
Yeah.
A
So
little
I
too
think
technical.
yeah.
Okay.
I think that the judges might be a little too crazy on this one, and
Fair. There's a
Yeah.
lot. There's
All
a
right.
lot to be, a lot of technicality to this one. Rob says, "I win, or do we lose for getting hungry first?" I think the loser is the one that gets hungry, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
That would be
Yeah.
my assumption as well.
Yeah. But before we move on from this one, can I just say, out of all of these sales, I think my favorite one is the spanker.
That would be mine as well.
yes,
Just wanted
everyone
to toss it out
prefers
there.
those.
Yeah. Either that or the main top gallant studding sail. But that, not that I'm playing favorites, but
No.
anyway.
Now, how about rigging the sails? Seeing how much you could get for all of the treasure you've collected, almost kind of like like you're seeing on the screen, like a Pawn Stars or like a what's that other one where they buy the storage units and then they flip what they find
Storage
inside
Wars?
of them. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Also,
it's
sorry, really quickly, Cup of Kiwi coming in here hot with 36 months. That's 3 years. That's 3 years
Wow.
of subscription. Holy smokes, dude.
Dedication.
Appreciate you, buddy. He
That-
also
that-
wishes that Dr. Ram was his spanker. So just wanted to make sure you're
Oh.
aware of that. Yeah.
So lovely.
that's great.
Yeah.
Rigging the sails with. I like how you made that sails like with money, instead of pirate sails on ships.
Yeah.
That's the best I can do.
Best I can do is
Okay,
350.
so we got to see what treasures we have found on our
Mhm.
journeys. I think
Mhm.
this one sounds really fun. I mean, I don't know if this would be a good Olympic sport.
Okay.
I mean,
that's
this
fair.
is like rate my clutter, and I'm not a clutter fan.
These are facts.
But this would be interesting to see how much something is worth that you find on an island somewhere that maybe people
Mhm.
just pass by and realize had some value to it.
So more of
Checks
like an
out.
antiques roadshow kind of fun watch, but not necessarily a competitive sport.
Unless, we do it like there was the show in the 80s where I don't know if they still do it, where you shop, you go around and you pick all your things
Like
in your
Supermarket
shop.
Sweep?
And yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
And we could do something like that instead,
core memory unlocked.
So you find what you think is the most expensive in the store
Mhm.
that's piratey.
Yeah.
And then see who wins.
And hopefully
Yeah,
not
I like
cursed.
that.
There you go. Hopefully not cursed. Yeah, exactly.
Right to my pirate booty.
Yeah.
Exactly, Moon. Exactly.
All
I
right,
think
moving on.
I'm going to give that
Oh,
actually
yeah.
3.5 doubloons.
3.5
I like
doubloons
that.
out of five.
All
All right.
right.
Yeah, that's fun.
That tracks.
We'll put that one in the focus groups.
How about map making and navigation?
Map making.
A
Wow.
little cartography, if you will.
Yeah, that's a lot of skill. I think that would be very difficult to get a gold medal in. You have to be really, really good at knowing how to, I guess, look at the land and know how it's shaped. And yeah, I think that would be very difficult.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like this one would be a multi-day event where you would have your best map maker / navigator go out, map out an island, and then put a flag somewhere, and then come back, and then he has to give those maps and whatnot to the rest of his team, and hope
that
based on his work that they'll be able to find that flag where it's planted on the island kind of thing.
That sounds really fun, actually.
Yeah.
Have the 1 day of map making and 1 day of going to the place that they've mapped out. I think more people would watch when they actually go on their journey.
I was just going to say, yeah, it almost feels like it's one where you don't watch the whole event live. Maybe you kind of have some pre-recorded bits, kind of do like a time lapse of sorts. Yeah. Of the initial day. And then, like you say, maybe you could watch live them chasing stuff around.
Well, Rob says they used to do this at Boy Scouts, but there were less pirates involved.
Yeah, they were training for piracy instead of for being little, whatever
Fewer
they train
deaths.
for in Boy Scouts.
Fewer deaths, yeah.
Now, in case it's too boring, it would immediately be followed by the event snack making and nom negation.
Yeah.
Oh, omnomigation. Nom nom. Okay, snack making. I love this. This is a great sport. I love food and eating, and as pirates, you find different areas to explore and learn about culture. I think this would be very, very good. I give this one a 5.
Nice.
All right.
Today
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, today I learned that pirates are fans of hard shell tacos.
I like soft, preferably.
I'm more of a soft person myself.
Well, I'm just judging by the picture here, but yeah.
I'm soft because I'm a Justice Pirate, though.
Can I say that I like both? I'm a big fan, and this isn't me plugging Taco Bell, but I really love the spicy chicken crunch wrap supreme, where you've got the hard shell inside of the soft, and you kind of get you get that crunch, but without it just completely falling apart. Because that's my issue with hard shell tacos in general. You go to bite into it, and the whole thing just falls apart.
Did you ever put potato chips on sandwiches?
Every once in a while.
Yeah, okay. It feels like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of having the hard shell and the soft. That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. Get best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the events that I came up with so far. So I've got a good range. I've got a good little list here of what I can bring back to the focus groups and see if we can pitch it. So thank you so much for your help, Justice Pirate. I appreciate it.
Anytime you need a professional pirate, I'm here.
Perfect.
A cup of kiwi throwing shade here on people putting potato chips on sandwiches. This coming from the guy who eats Uncrustables. Let me just say.
Hold out. Now, where did your love of the Olympics start?
It started with the Calgary 1988 Olympics.
Cool Runnings?
Yeah.
With the Jamaican?
No, not Cool Runnings, but it started with that year. That's when I was old enough to enjoy it, and I really had fun. And then every single Olympics, I had to watch it. And I don't know, it just was very enjoyable for me. And it continues to be so. And I even watch really old clips from like the 50s, the 20s, different Olympics that I wasn't around for.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Did you know you're talking to a couple Calgarians?
Oh, look at that. See that?
There we go.
Yeah.
See, it was all destined for me to be here today.
I mean, I was far too young at that point to remember. I was born in 87, so I don't have any memory, at least of it happening live per se. But
right.
I think probably the earliest Olympics for me that I really remember watching was probably much later. Actually, I think it would have been like the 2002 Olympics, and was that Salt Lake? I guess.
Wasn't that just the 2000s?
Trying to remember.
2002. I'm trying to think. 2000 was Atlanta.
Right.
2002 was in Greece.
Was 2002 in Greece? So maybe
Athens.
It was a different year. I don't know. Which year
2002 was Athens.
Hold up. I got to look it up.
Yep. It was the Salt Lake one that I remember the most too.
Salt Lake. Okay, Salt Lake.
2002. 2002 was Salt Lake.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then I'm just forgetting that they were both. They had for a while where they were the same year, and then they changed it to being like different.
Alternative, yeah.
Yeah. So like I get confused sometimes. Like in '88, they also had one in Seoul.
Mm-hmm.
So they had Calgary and Seoul.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chet. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Chet,
Yeah, that's the one that our parents had on probably the most that year in particular. I don't even recall exactly why. It's not like we had any like invested interest in any of the athletes, but
it was just one of those years where it just, because I feel like every Olympics there's varying levels of excitement for it, and for some reason I think maybe it was just some of the athletes that were participating, maybe were higher profile athletes, and people were just in general pretty excited about it, so might have been that. But
now I'm probably getting things confused. Was '02? Were there two? Was that the winter?
Winter, yeah.
So
the
the
winter.
summer maybe was in Australia then. I'm trying to remember because there were.
That would make sense.
I don't know.
Not sure.
Maybe I'm getting it all confused now.
And do
good.
you have a
They were
favorite
all
event?
Do I have a favorite event? That's
favorite
really
event?
difficult for me because I love watching so many events, but I definitely like there are ones that I don't want to miss. And that would be like figure skating and gymnastics. I don't like to miss those.
Yeah.
But I will watch, like Rob Steady will tell you, I'll like watch all the events. I really enjoy so many. And now that they have like surfing and skateboarding in, I don't like missing
Skateboarding's
those.
a lot of fun, yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I'm a big X Games fan. I think just because I loved watching. Not that I can skate that well, but I enjoyed watching people who can just like pull off some insane tricks. So like BMX, skateboarding, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's nice, like you say, they've added a lot of that into the formal Olympics now. And rightly so, in my opinion. I mean, they're athletic. There's no question about it. There's a lot that goes into it. A lot of training required to be the best of the best, right?
Room 40 event. What's that?
Yeah, what's
I'm not sure what a Room 40 event is either.
I don't know what that is.
But Moon used to watch the '08
Oh,
Olympics
no.
with Grandma.
Oh, that's so nice. That was a really good Olympic game too. The '08 one in China, in Beijing.
Kiwi got us. He got us with the D's nuts
he
joke.
got us.
Yeah. How dare. How dare indeed.
How dare.
That's too good. That's too good. Really quickly, before we move on to the next segment, though, just as a reminder to those in chat, we do have a couple of new Channel Point redemptions specific to this episode. One of those, you can actually get your new pirate name if you like. I've got a generator in place that will assign you a new pirate name. If you don't like the first one, you can roll it again, just one reroll, and then you can get a different pirate name. Additionally, one of the segments later on during our show, we're going to be drawing our own pirate flags. And so if there are particular prompts that you would like to see each of us add into our own individual flags, we got channel points for that as well. And I see some people have already redeemed that, but I just wanted to make you aware of that as well. What did you get there, Ram? First mate turtle hand?
I got first mate turtle hand.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Destimoon got Grand Admiral Blackball earlier.
Oh, wow. As a pirate name?
As a pirate name, yeah.
I already have my pirate name.
There you go.
Nice.
Yes.
Here, I'll do one here too, just so that way we're all in there.
I'm sorry if you heard a baby crying.
It's
baby pirate is crying, but Rob Steady's on the job.
Rob Steady.
I got Admiral Sharkball, and Rob Steady got Admiral Scabbyfoot. Nice.
Wow.
Nicely done. Those are some pretty good pirate
Wonderful.
names, if I have to say so myself. Yeah.
I'm in the presence of greatness.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, it's funny. I'm going to jump around a little bit here, Ram, on our agenda. But
No, go right ahead.
We were talking before stream while we were waiting for things to kind of fire up about there's a song about pirates that's a Canadian song by a group called Arrogant Worms called The Last Saskatchewan Pirate. And we were talking about that a little bit and kind of how it's funny. It's a funny song simply because for anyone that's familiar with the geography of Canada, Saskatchewan is landlocked for one. Two, doesn't really have any large bodies of water. It's got a few rivers. That's about it. And three is very, very flat. And so the premise of this song being about pirating and sailing in such a place is kind of funny. And it's interesting to me that it's a song that people outside of Canada are aware of because it's like Arrogant Worms. They're not like a large group, like they're not, on the same caliber in terms of notoriety as, like Jay-Z or Taylor Swift or, anybody.
They won't be opening for Elton John anytime soon.
Yeah, but it's funny how that song, and I think there's quite a few people that I've run into over my years outside of Canada that have heard that song and love that song.
All the pirates love it.
Yeah, it's a great song, but I just found it interesting. And so for yourself, like, when did you come across that song? Like, were you in high school? Was it as an adult? Like, I'm just curious.
So it was in 2003, which I was engaged. I was out of high school, and I was making a mix CD because, I used to make mixed tapes and then mixed CDs. And I was like, okay, I need a good pirate CD. And I think I did it for Talk Like a Pirate Day, actually, which was that was the first year I celebrated it. And that was also the year I think that Pirates of the Caribbean came out, or around there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I was like, okay, I need a really nice mix CD. So I had Professional Pirate on it, for instance. And I searched for like lots of pirate songs, and I came across Arrogant Worms, and I thought it was very humorous. And I was like, yes, I love it. And now it is a theme, and we play it every once in a while here in the pirate home.
Love it. Love it.
Now, we've actually had some real Canadian pirates that aren't your typical pirates, but are still, I would still, Casey would probably agree that they are pirates nonetheless. I don't know if you've ever heard of the multi-million-dollar maple syrup heist.
No, I might. It's maybe a little bit in the back of my head.
Yeah,
Casey?
So this was only a few years ago, actually. I'm just pulling up the article again here that was talking about it. So back in, was it? I think it was 2022, I think, is when they finally caught the guy. Right. But the actual event happened actually over a series of years in the early 2010s, where they found out actually it was an inside job, but this guy was essentially stealing maple syrup, of all things. And stole, I think it was something like 18 million
in that range.
Let me try to see.
He really liked his syrup, guys.
Yeah.
His pancakes and waffles,
I'm just trying to find it here.
Whole tankers full of maple syrup were stolen.
Yeah. Wow.
And with the crazy
what was his purpose for that?
Just to resell. Just on the black market, the old maple syrup black market.
Black market.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
as one does.
Yeah. What he originally started doing was he'd empty out the barrels that were full of maple syrup and refill them with water, so that way you wouldn't pick it up right away that something was wrong. And then after a while, he just stopped even doing that. It was just like siphoning it all out, and like millions of dollars. About they say the market value is about 18 million Canadian. And
it's one of the nicest crimes to commit. Right. One must be a pirate of committing a crime. That's the one to choose, guys. And that shows Canadian spirit, which I am not Canadian. I live near the Atlantic Ocean on the east coast here of the United States. So we are sailors here.
There you go.
Well, we don't have wheat fields.
If you ever see Canadian maple syrup in the ethnic aisle of your shopping,
is that where we would be?
Place
Are
of
we
choice.
Considered ethnic food to the U.S.? I don't even know.
Maybe
we get some Canadian maple syrup here. Usually we have Vermont syrup. It's very popular.
It may be pirated maple syrup.
Maybe.
Could be. Yeah, you never know.
I hope I've tried it.
I wonder if it tastes better because it's been stolen.
Why?
I prefer liberated.
This tree is more special than this one.
Yeah.
I tapped this one myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
you never know.
Goodness.
You never know.
But yeah, that's kind of the quintessential Canadian pirate for you. So
nice.
Little fun trivia fact for you guys in case you're ever.
I love that.
Yeah,
it's basically all I know about pirates.
Yeah. For anyone that ever ends up in a situation, maybe you're at a company function and you're talking to people, or maybe you're on Tinder for the first time with a new date and you needed something to break the ice. Now you got a little bit of trivia. You start talking about the great maple syrup heist of Canada. Yeah, those poor saps, says Kitty. I see what you did there.
That's fun.
But speaking of trivia, are you ready for another game?
Sure.
All right.
So this one, I'm actually going to pit you against Ram.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And I forgot to get the buzzers set up. So I think what we'll have to do is I'll just have you guys like raise your hand or something, school
Okay.
style, and I'll just
he
watch.
lives nearer to you. That's not fair.
Well, I mean, I can see it on the screen, like the cameras, right?
Yeah.
It should be relatively instantaneous.
My buzzer is going to sound like bing bong.
But so let me just pull it up here, and we're calling this event. Hold on, we're calling it the R Sats instead of
Arsats.
instead of the L Sats. Does anyone get that joke? I don't know.
I don't.
Ha ha ha.
It's a common test that certain people have to. I think is it medical? If you're trying to get into medical school, you have to take the
believe
LSATs. I think. Anyway, these are the R Sats.
I'm a pirate. I didn't take the SATs.
This is no bar exam.
All right, so the way it's going to work. There's a question on each page. It's a multiple choice answer, so there's 4 possible answers. So all you got to do is just like I say, it's like raise your hand or shout or something like that. I don't know, just grab my attention, and I'll try and be as fair and as whatnot as possible. But chat, keep me honest too if you feel like somebody answered sooner than somebody else. And you don't have to shout out the answer per se. Just
Are
raise
we
your
raising
hand.
hands or shouting?
Let's
Because-
raise hands. We'll raise hands. Let's not make it more difficult than it needs to be, I
Okay.
guess.
All right. All right.
All right, so you ready for the first one? Here we go. This form of pirate torture involved dragging the prisoner behind the ship while tied up. Is it stern dragging, keel hauling, scuttling, or my kind of Friday night? All right,
I mean, I
Justice
know what I
Pirate, I
wanna
see a
answer.
hand.
I don't know, but I'm going to just guess keel hauling.
Keel hauling is correct. 1 point for Justice Pirate.
Pirate instinct.
I wanted to
fine.
guess my kind of Friday night. I knew it wasn't correct. It does kinda sound like,
I mean, it could be both, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge? I'm not here to kink shame.
right?
That's a horrible way of torture, guys.
All right, next question. Here we go. This pirate, whose actual name was Edward Teach, used to light pieces of hemp on fire and weave it into his beard as a scare tactic. Justice Pirate.
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard is correct. I also would have accepted Cheech Marin, but no.
Cheech Marine. Oh, man. I didn't even look at that. I just, Edward Teach right away. I was like, okay.
He also tied candles, I believe, at one point into his beard too. Did he not?
I believe so.
He was
Yeah.
a strange man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it so it gave him more of a demonic presence and inspire fear in his enemies. Yeah.
Yeah. I
It
mean, that
worked.
would inspire fear in my skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's widely regarded as the most fearsome pirate to ever sail.
It's possible.
And then Jeff Bezos came along. Next
Is he
question.
a pirate?
Crate says, define irony. Listening to this pirate broadcast while dealing with the Crimson Fleet in Starfield. There you go. A little space
There we
pirate.
go.
Nice.
All right, next question. Here we go. Traditional pirate grog was typically made with what kind of alcohol? Vodka, rum, brandy, fermented pickle brine. Ram, I saw your hand, I think, first on this one.
Ram is going to go rum.
Rum is correct. It's
See, and I don't drink. I'm a sober pirate, so I failed.
You and me both. You and me both.
There we go.
All right, what is the first name of Captain Hook from J.M. Barrie's childhood novel, Peter Pan? What's his first name? All right, I see Justice Pirate.
I think it's James.
James is correct.
Okay,
Now,
I
for
would've guessed
extra
John.
points, do you know what his middle name is?
I
I actually didn't know.
don't.
I had to. I found this out as I was searching stuff around.
I've read the book twice.
So
I don't remember.
I don't know that they actually ever say his middle name in the book. However, Disney has kind of retconned, I guess, a middle name for him, and it was in one of their.
Tiberius?
I think it was a TV series. It is not Tiberius. It's actually not on this list at all.
Oh,
But
okay.
you're thinking of James T. Kirk. That's Tiberius. That's his middle name. Yeah, why is the rum gone? Yeah, yeah, that's Star Trek.
Is it Francis?
It is not. It's not Francis. It is Bartholomew. Bartholomew. Yeah.
Old JB Hook.
Yeah. All right. Next question. This was the first American female pirate who was hanged at the age of 29. Justice Pirate.
Well, this is hard because I know Grace O'Malley and Mary Read are both pirate ladies. Oh my goodness. At age 29,
And remember, the first American female pirate.
American. Mary Read, then.
Mary Read is not correct.
No!
Ram.
Is it Grace O'Malley?
It is not.
Rachel Wall.
Mary Read is from England. Grace O'Malley is from Ireland. What we were looking for here is Kim Kardashian. I mean, Rachel Wall.
Rachel Wall, was she in the Carolinas?
Possibly. I didn't see too much detail in terms of whereabouts she was mostly doing her thieving and pirating, but she is the first American-born female pirate on record.
I think I
Hanged in Massachusetts.
Yep.
Massachusetts. Oh, man.
Same place that you can go for Pirate Jack's Burger Shack. And
That's right.
Let's all go to Pirate Jack's. What was it? Pirate Jack's Love Shack? I can't remember.
Love Shack.
Burger and Barbecue Shack.
I was close.
Yeah.
Close enough. Those words are synonymous for me.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, which famous historical figure was once held ransom by pirates? Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, or Cleopatra? Ram, I see your hand.
I'm going to go with Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar is correct.
Great job.
Yeah. Funny thing about this, too, is originally when the pirates held him for ransom, they didn't really know who he was. And the ransom was so low that Julius Caesar was actually offended. He's like, you should probably be asking for this amount of money. Wow. Which they did. And then obviously the ransom was paid. Julius Caesar was delivered back to his people and then immediately sent out his own militia to go hunt down those pirates, kill them, and get the money back. So
See, I would have said Alexander the Great because he sailed around.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
I learned
love to
something.
see,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would love to see a sitcom around that.
Right? That would be hilarious.
Just pirates and Julius Caesar and like the abduction and all of that.
Yeah. Crate doing a little digging for us as well. So the previous part we're looking at, Rachel Wall, originated from Pennsylvania.
Oh,
There you
which
go.
is also not by sea.
Yeah.
There we go.
Are you winning, Justice? Says Timmy.
I don't know. I'm not keeping track. We're just having fun.
I think we're pretty close. I think we're pretty close to tie. We're just.
I think
yeah,
I
but yeah,
might
we're
be
just having
one
fun.
behind.
Yeah.
I might be one behind.
Well, I think we've got one question left. There might be a couple. Let me think. We'll find out. All right. This pirate was also known as Robin Hood of the Sea. He became a pirate not because of greed, but out of anger at the English system that exploited the poor. Go ahead, Justice Pirate.
I'm going to say Calico Jack.
It is not Calico Jack.
Ah,
Ram, do you have a guess?
Benjamin Hornigold?
Not Benjamin Hornigold. It is Black Sam Bellamy. Black Sam Bellamy.
I just wanted to say Benjamin Hornigold.
it's a fun name.
Yeah. These are all real pirates, by the way. These are all real pirate names.
Yeah.
But also, Timmy, welcome in, buddy. How you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, that was the last question. That was the last one.
All right.
All right. Great job. That was fun.
GG's all
Well
around.
played. I learned some things too.
There you go.
I didn't think I knew that much about pirate trivia.
You knew so much.
Very well done. Very well done.
I learned it from watching you.
Great. Recognized a few names. Yeah, there's a bunch of real pirates in there. I mean, it's an interesting too. Like the pirate profession has been around for many centuries. It's possibly one of the oldest professions next to.
I would say the
Around-
second
around-
oldest.
Yeah.
Around the
Yeah.
it's recorded around between 1000 to 1200. It's like recorded, but it could be the 800s.
Like BC, right?
No.
No. Oh,
AD.
okay. Got it.
ACBC?
ACBC. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed.
Calico Jack has a rum named after him. There you go. Yeah, Timmy says second oldest profession. Were they in Assassin's Creed? See, I haven't played much of the Assassin's Creed series, and I know we've chatted about this on stream before a few times too. My reasoning behind why I don't care for Assassin's Creed, but I won't get into it here. I don't want to rant about Assassin's Creed. But Benjamin Hornigold, Mary Read, Edward Teach, you all know a little bit about from your playing Black Flag. Okay, nice. I've watched a was it on Netflix? There was a series. It might have been on Netflix. It might have been on a different streaming service. But it talked about actually a lot of different pirates. Like every episode was about a different pirate and their background and kind of the stuff that they did. And like Benjamin Hornigold, actually, he ran a good chunk of the Caribbean for a while. He actually managed a port that was there that a lot of pirates would frequent. And it's interesting that a lot of them became pirates too, not because they were greedy or anything. But for some of them, like Black Sam Bellamy, wanted to make a statement that they didn't agree with the way that they were being treated by their governments. And so they turned to piracy as a way to rebel and to, stick it to the man. Some people...
Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah.
And others just wanted to get away from their family. They just were like, no, family life's not for me. See you guys. So we had a whole range of different reasoning, right, behind people being pirates. Yeah, some of it was desperation, though. Yeah, some of it just they had no other option.
Some people inherited it, just like Grace O'Malley. She inherited it from her father.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
got
know
his
that.
fleet of ships.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like it just runs in the family. Just pirating is it's what we do. Yeah.
My mom's a pirate. My dad's a pirate.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a little thing that we all learned there, I think. So, and actually speaking, I mean, this isn't so much, I guess, about piracy, but again, there was a bit of a back and a forth kind of a war of sorts in terms of claiming land, actually between Canada and Denmark. That every year they would be fighting over, I think it was Hans Island in Greenland.
Hans Island, yeah.
And they would go back and forth and they would take down the other country's flag, but then they would also leave them a bottle of whiskey. And it became known as the Whiskey War. And I always saw that and I thought that was really interesting. Not so much necessarily to do with pirating, but kind of in a similar vein, I guess. And I always thought that was kind of cool. Like it's a very peaceful war.
There was sailing and alcohol involved.
Yeah, there's sailing and alcohol, right? So it's pirate. Yeah. It's pirate adjacent, we'll say.
And it actually that war just ended last year on June 14th.
Yeah.
It finally ended the 50-year long whiskey war.
Mm.
Yeah. So there you go. More stuff to learn.
The more you know.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to our next segment, though, just in the interest of time. And we are now going to be designing our own pirate flags. And so, like I mentioned earlier, and if you haven't done so already, feel free to get those channel point redemptions in there. If you would like to have any of us add something to our pirate flag, let us know. We've got a few prompts that you can provide to us. Maximum of 5 total per person, being Justice Pirate, Ram, and myself, can be added to our flags. You guys are going to be seeing me do it live. I'll have my screen up, and then as soon as Ram and Justice Pirate are done theirs, they're going to send it to me, and we'll post them all so you guys can see them. But yeah, go ahead and get those channel point redemptions in if you have an idea of something that you would like to ensure is on one of our flags. I'll read the ones that we've got already on the list. So Ram, currently you need to add both Perry the Platypus and Captain Kermit to your flag.
Okay.
I need to add Parrot Cock. And Justice Pirate needs to add Tim Curry. Tim Curry needs to be on your flag somewhere.
Wonderful.
And I'll let you guys know as more pop up,
all
just so that way you're aware of what else needs to be drawn on there. But yeah, so we're all doing these in Microsoft Paint. So let me pull up Paint here on my end as well, so I've got it ready. And we'll I don't know, go like what, 5 minutes ish? I think should be sufficient. 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10. 5 to 10.
All right.
Now, Justice Pirate, do you know any kind of like what the significance was behind a lot of the flags that would be flown on pirate ships?
Well, for instance, the one here on my arm
I was gonna say
is the Jolly Roger, which was flown to warn other ships to surrender to them. So otherwise, they were usually to explain who's the captain of whatever ship.
Yep. And I was actually reading a little bit about the history of that too, and it's there's certain circles that say that the term Jolly Roger comes from like one of two origins. One was I'm trying to remember what the French word was, but it was like red joy or something like that, I think is what it translated to. And it was because originally when they flew flags, they flew a red flag, meaning that no mercy would be given. And so the French term for that was like, hold on, let me look it up because otherwise it's not going to make any sense. Joli rouge, which meant, pretty red. And so Joli Rouge, then for some people, they think, okay, Joli Rouge now is Jolly Roger. And then for other people, they feel that it came from the term Old Roger, which was another name for the devil. It was a kind of a slang term for Satan. And so there's the kind of two origins. I'd be curious to know which one actually bears more merit. But I could see either one of those being legitimate kind of origins for Jolly Roger. Ram, we have another request from Timmy for yours.
I see.
You need to add the cause of human suffering onto your flag.
That's difficult. You poor thing.
I will try and get all 5 members of Nickelback on here if I can.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
Off the port side.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to add Parrot Cock to mine. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn that kind of into my skull and crossbones thing here.
And I was going to ask you about this as well, Justice Pirate, given that you've now brought it up as well. The inspiration behind the Jolly Roger on your bicep, was that because you enjoyed pirates, or what brought that about?
I've always had a fascination with pirates. I grew up on a river, like it was in my backyard growing up. And I just always was fascinated with the idea of like independence of your own and being a little bit of a rebellious person, but in the right way. But there actually was a woman singer that had a similar tattoo to mine that Rob Study had found. And I was like, you know what? I want to get that tattoo. So it was a combination of things. Mine is bigger than the other woman, and she had like microphones instead of crossbones or something like that.
Yeah.
So minimalism. No, it was just like also the idea of like me when I'm 70, I'll be able to wave my flag and it will flap around. I thought that would be funny.
That's amazing.
So that was like, okay, we could do this, like.
Yeah. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Oh, that is perfect.
Robot Death Parrot, welcome in. He says, I've seen those bangs before. We got Jimmy Potato in here as well. Welcome in, friends. For those that are just joining us, we are drawing pirate flags right now. And there's a bit of an added twist to it in that you can redeem as they're available. There's only 5 available per person that's in this stream right now. So 5 for me, 5 for Ram, 5 for Justice Pirate. So once they're gone, they're gone. But you can request to have some additional feature added to our flag. We've had a couple more that have been added. Timmy has requested that I add in addition to Parrot Cock, which you can see I've already started to draw here. I also need to factor in Talk About Extra Life into my flag. Jimmy just requested a pirate name. What did you get there, Jimmy? Dex Swabby Silverfoot. Nice. Nice. And then Timmy has requested that Justice Pirate add minimalism into their flag somehow.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Is that like I'm trying to think of the right term, an oxymoron? Adding minimalism?
It's like I shouldn't even make a flag,
I think I'm just going to go. Touche. I'm just going to color the whole thing black here. I think it makes more sense to do like that. Have it laser removed. Minimalist as heck. Yeah. Looking very much like a parrot hawk or a hawk. I mean, it's a parrot, right? There's a little parrot beak there. Yeah. Is that not?
It's a mix between a peacock and a parrot. That's where Parrot Cock was born.
It's true. That was
for
my
those
daughter.
thinking otherwise in chat.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, yeah. Also for those that are joining us that have no idea what Paracock is or the inside joke that's there. A couple of years ago, as part of Extra Life, I had a special stream called Pretty Princess Casey. Wherein my daughter came in, she put makeup on my face, we dressed like princesses, and we played Mario games. And we were playing a Mario game. We were playing Mario Party, and out of nowhere, she makes this weird squawking sound and immediately says, "Oh, I sound like a parrot cock." And I was like, "A what?" And she's like, "A parrot cock." She kept enunciating it. She kept saying it over and over again. And I'm dying laughing. Everyone in chat's dying laughing. And we finally get her some composure and we're like, "What are you talking about? What is a parrot cock? What is a parrot cock? Do you mean a peacock?" She's like, "No, I mean a parrot cock. It's part parrot, part peacock." But it's just like the innocence, right? I think she was probably 6 at the time. Innocence of a 6-year-old just taking 2 words that she knew and mashing them together. And unfortunately or maybe fortunately, who knows? Depends on who you ask. Parrot Cock was born. So yeah. There's a clip in there. It's by far my most watched clip. If you go into my clips and just search by most popular of all time, it's the top of the list. Let's see. I apologize in advance. I'm kind of losing my voice here, but let me see. I'm going to try to factor in Extra Life here now. So I think we'll draw the little controller that they have. And then there's always like a pair of dice as well. But let me finish drawing the controller here first. Can I make this bigger? No, I can't. Little thumbsticks. This is very difficult in MS Paint. It's looking a little rough. A little rough.
I can't even imagine what pirates had to do without this technology.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the clip. There's the clip. If anybody wants to watch it, Kitty just posted it. Jimmy, you can do another. You can do up to 2.
If you want to re-roll.
If you want to re-roll it, yeah, it's not going to give you the one that you had before. It'll give you a brand new one. How was Little Jones's stream yesterday? It was fun. She had a lot of fun. It's my daughter's birthday this week, and one of the things that she wanted to do, she's been asking for months, is when it's my birthday, can I do a stream with you? Because she loves being here. She loves hanging out, and she loves streaming. So we did a little birthday stream for her yesterday, and we played some Kirby in the Forgotten Land and had a lot of fun. We got some ads rolling in here too. Let's see, Timmy got himself a pirate name. First mate, Rotten Finger. And Rob said he got the bonk somehow.
He mentioned Parrot Cock in chat and Streamlabs.
Oh yeah, Streamlabs. I don't know why that word of all words it loves to bonk. People will drop the F-bomb in here sometimes, and Streamlabs lets it through, but Parrot Cock can't be having that. Yeah. Hey, baby, want to know why they call me First Mate Rotten Finger? Oh, no.
Not particularly.
Okay. So I'm just going to clear out some of these that I definitely have added myself. So that one's done. Ram, are you good with your prompts? I can clear these out.
I have cleared 3.
You got Perry the Platypus?
I got Perry the Platypus. I've got The Cause of Human Suffering, and I've got Captain Kermit.
Captain Kermit. Yeah, those are the only 3 right now for you. And then Justice Pirate, you've got Tim Curry and Minimalism. Am I okay to clear those out of the rewards?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll clear those out. Okay. Yeah, so I got to finish drawing Extra Life here. So if my math is correct, that means that there's 2 prompts still available for Ram and 3 prompts available for Justice Pirate and I each. And again, you can redeem those through channel points. If there's a prompt that you would like to have us add, go ahead and do so while I try and finish my little flag here.
I'm in deep concentration here.
Right?
I don't blame you.
Can't mess around. Can't mess around when it comes to pirate flags.
Oh, wrong color.
So hard to draw with a mouse, especially when you're trying to draw like round shapes like a circle. I could use, I guess, the shape tools, but yeah.
You're an MS Paint purist.
Yeah, exactly. Timmy got a new pirate name, Scullery Maid Longtooth. There you go.
It's happy.
You want to know why they call me Longtooth?
Yeah. Little Scullery Maid Longtooth. Just out there peeling potatoes with his long tooth.
Now, what is a scullery maid?
Potato peeler. They're the ones that worked in the galleys and were in charge, basically like a prep cook.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We got one here from Robot Death Parrot as well. Shall henceforth be known as First Mate Shark Leg. That's a decent one.
Oh,
that's
Shark
pretty
Leg.
good. Now the question is,
Shark leg.
my shark leg, is your leg like actually a shark, or maybe it was like bitten off by a shark? Like these are the questions that we need to answer. Yeah, you can only redeem a flag prompt once per person. We didn't want to have like one person go and like scoop up all of them for one person. So yeah, it's one prompt. Like out of chat, you get to do one for each of us tops. to a maximum of 5 for each of us in total, if that makes sense. Shark leg, Schleg.
This is hard. I haven't drawn in so long.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the important details. Yeah, mine's pretty much done here. Let me see.
I'm getting close.
Yeah, unless I get another prompt here. This is my flag. I'm actually pretty happy with my parrot cock here. Low-key want to roll again, but my first name's pretty cool. Yeah, you got a pretty good one. Decimoon is no longer Grand Admiral Blackball. She is now Second Mate Blue Nose. That might be better, might be worse. I don't know.
Blue Nose? I mean, there are actual blue people in the Appalachian Mountains.
Well, there you go.
No way.
Yeah.
Blue Nose is also.
There's a family that is their. They actually have some sort of interesting disease of some sort that makes their skin blue.
Huh.
Does it affect their health at all, or is it just
no? It just makes their skin blue.
Interesting. Like full on blue, or just kind of a bluey tinge?
A very weird blue tinge. You can look it up. It's very strange.
Well, there you have it.
Interesting.
All right, we'll say 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes to wrap up your creations here.
Do you think those people have ever listened to Eiffel 65's "I'm Blue"?
Probably. They still live today.
That'd be really cool.
Well, there you go. Okay, I see a Discord message. Is this from one of you guys? No, this is from somebody else.
No, but I'm
Moon wants to know if there's
done.
silver in their diet.
Possibly. You never know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anything could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So give me 1 sec here.
Uh-oh, I hope it's saving right. I hope I didn't break it. Otherwise, I have to do... Okay, good. It did it. I was scared. I would have to do like a screenshot.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm just going to add a couple of sources here into OBS so that way they're ready for when you guys have your flags.
All right. I'm going to send you it.
And I think I am just about ready to send here as well.
Alrighty.
File save.
So let me shrink mine down here a little bit. Make some space. Many of his descendants had blue skin due to genetic mutations from intermarriage. Oh,
I love yours, JusticePirate. That's hilarious.
Interesting. All right. So
I try to keep it minimalist as much as possible.
Okay.
You definitely added minimalism, that's for sure.
Yeah, I did.
Let me save these. This is awesome.
So many folders.
Okay.
There it is.
So there's one. Let me add that one in. So I'll add in JusticePirate.
Oh, that's beautiful.
First.
Wow.
So here's
That is
JusticePirate.
so good.
Minimalism.
I thought we were supposed to draw the whole thing. I didn't know we could add artistic design.
Oh, what is this? You didn't even draw Kermit. You just like copy pasted him from the email. Same with Perry the Platypus.
I
call
I had to draw Tim Curry the best I could.
I call shenanigans. All right, here's Rams. For those in chat who are like, what is he talking about? Here it is. Here, let me go. Look at this. Stolen. And I love that you gave him like Edward Scissorhands kind of.
Well, here that's the cause of human suffering.
Oh, okay.
Is having a package with scissors, but needing a scissor, like a pair of scissors to open the package.
I'm sorry, this parrot cock is so rude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that checks out.
Oh my word.
Well, I mean, I have to draw parrot cock, right? So,
oh man.
Yeah, there it is. Shenanigans.
New logo.
I agree. The Tim Curry looks great, man.
Right?
Thanks.
You did really good. That's a really good Tim Curry. That looks.
I've never drawn with a mouse before. This was hard.
It's tough. I thought about like kind of cheating on my side because I'm just like plugging in my tablet and drawing on my tablet. But I was like, well, if you guys have to use MS Paint, I'll use MS Paint. And then in comes Ram and he's like, yeah, we'll use MS Paint, but.
Look, I got the most amount of requests that I needed to include on my flag,
Only by
okay?
one. Only by one.
That does not negate the truthfulness of my statement.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hide those here. We'll drop those in Discord in case anybody else wants to look at them later. Good stuff. Good stuff.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun, right? And thanks you guys for the prompts, for those that added some prompts for us, so that way we could draw some fun flags. So we wanted to come back and chat with you a little bit again about a couple of things that you do. One in particular being a message in a bottle specifically, is that it seems to be your main go-to now from a streaming perspective. You're not doing as much Quake Champions anymore, primarily focused on message in a bottle and just chatting. And I think we talked about this at least a little bit briefly at the start of the show, but why message in a bottle? And this isn't me like being mean, but I'm just curious, like what is it that kind of had it come about, and what's kind of the drive for you in terms of streaming that type of content? I'm just curious.
Well, message and bottle, I started doing it in November of almost 3 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's crazy. And I wanted to give advice to people because I really like to help people. I was always like that, even when I was a teenager or whatever. I was always the kid that would go up to the lonely kid and be like, "Hey, how you doing? Oh, I've got a group of friends. You want to hang out with us?" Like, so
That's awesome.
And when people were down in the dumps or whatever, I would try to give them advice. Or a lot of people, they would go up to me and say like, "Hey, I want to know this or that." And it's just been something I've always enjoyed doing. So I was like, how could I do a stream where I could give people advice and help them if they have questions? And I wanted to make it fun and piratey. And I was like, well, bottles in the sea. And so I started doing that. And then after a few months, I became a certified life coach. So I could, also give advice to people professionally if needed, with like health and wellness issues. And also on top of that, doing things like decluttering and lowering your carbon footprint.
There you go.
So yeah, so I think that's how it started. And just like, what other ways can I make it fun and trying to incorporate piratey things? So, there was the finding clouds, looking for images in clouds for a while I did.
Mm-hmm.
And we would draw the things in the clouds. And then, let's go on a voyage. So it was just like ways to make it fun around giving advice.
Yeah. And it's been great too. I mean, I haven't been there for every episode, but I've been there for quite a few. And there's some really interesting conversations that pop up, some really deep conversations sometimes that can touch on some relatively sensitive material. But at the same time, like, I think it's important for people to have that kind of a forum to talk and to discuss, right? Because I feel like that's what's missing a lot in today's society. A lot of people are not willing to have those open discussions. And particularly when you get people who might come from different backgrounds and different points of view.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we end up getting then is a society who is very much self-absorbed and unable to step outside of their comfort zone and talk about difficult topics and topics that might have very sensitive outcomes. And so, I have to applaud you because I think you do a fantastic job of trying to find that fine balance, right? Between, helping people obviously and not like just telling them outright, like, do this, because I told you to, right? Helping them find the answer.
Sometimes I do that
Sometimes
too.
you do, yeah. But I mean, in a way that's still like here's what I've learned from my experiences. This is what I have found to be successful. And so this is why I would suggest that you do the same. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's really beneficial to people because for a lot of folks, I think they come from somewhere where they don't know what to do. Right. Or maybe they were raised in a different way and have never had the opportunity to see things from a different lens. And I think that's something that you're able to provide and you do really well.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, no,
and my little slide in as well with that too is one thing that I really like is what I've noticed from a lot of those streams as well is you do a lot of active listening and you promote a lot of active listening in those who are listening to you as opposed to it just being, I want to say my piece. Okay, now you say your piece. And when you're done, I want to say my piece again. There's a connection that happens. And I'm sure as a life coach, you've experienced that as well, where you're able to not necessarily just like wait for the next time to say something, but you're now seeing those that you're talking to understand a little bit more of where you're coming from and where you're at professionally and a lot of your advice, and not just say, oh, well, this is how I've always done it, so I'm just going to keep doing it this way. It really kind of practices, or it encourages that two-way conversation, kind of like what Casey mentioned, that maybe they don't get from growing up, where it's just been, this is how life is, as opposed to it being, why is this how life is? And yeah, I find it very, very mentally stimulating when I'm listening. So I just wanted to say thank you for that as well.
No problem. Also, the chat sometimes gives their opinion, and we have conversations off of that, which is really fun.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
it's
people
always the
learn
tricky
from one another.
Yeah, and it's always the tricky part, right? Being on this side of the camera, right? Because at a certain point, like it's hard to, and this is the thing that I talk about with people all the time too, in terms of having discussions with people over the internet versus in person. When you're over the internet, you run into a couple of issues. One is text is a very cold medium. It's very difficult to
Yes.
determine tone, and you can't see body language. So it's those are cues that we as humans, whether we realize it or not, pick up on as we talk to people. And I think a huge part of empathy is our ability to read those signals, and to be able to interpret them correctly as we're talking and conversing with people. And so it's difficult, I find, as a streamer, where they can see you, but you can't see them,
Yeah.
to be able to have those conversations and to understand what people are saying sometimes. And with that, as well as in some certain circumstances, there's also a false sense of anonymity, right? Where sometimes people, and this is unfortunate, and this isn't about Message in a Bottle, but just in general,
Yeah.
where you'll see a lot of people will post and say stuff that there's no way they would ever say that to you, to your face, or things like that, right? Just because there's that invisible wall, as it were, being the internet, right, that they can hide behind. And so I kind of wanted to ask, like, have you ever seen some of that in Message in a Bottle or in any of your doings as part of your Just Chatting stream, especially when you're talking about a sensitive topic, where you've had people come in who have maybe said something that maybe is a little bit off-putting, or things like that, and how do you deal with those types of scenarios? Like, how do you try and pull it back into an appropriate topic or appropriate conversation to be had?
I mean, I've had questions where I'm like, I don't know your intent here or
Right.
exactly what you mean. I wish you put more information so I could help you a little bit more specifically. So I've had that. And then with some of the people that have come in, I have some people that don't really know English that well. And so that makes it hard for me. And so sometimes I'll ask them questions, but then sometimes they'll say things that don't even make sense. And I'm like, do you mean this? Or like, this is what I think. And maybe sometimes I get a little bit, I will say in my pregnancy and right after giving birth, my hormones were like a little bit
Yeah.
Roller
all over the
coaster.
place. Yeah, so
forgivable.
I
It's
might have been a
forgivable.
little more
Yeah.
like at those points, but for the most part, it's been like, okay, well, I see where you're coming from. And you get some people where they're like, but they'll tell me their experience, and I'm like, okay, but this is the solution. And it's like, you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to help you, but you don't want to see it. And like, I understand where you're coming from. I totally do. And so I've done that many times where I'm like, yes. And like, I'll see where they are and I'll try to help them. But then if I say a suggestion, they might be like, but that's impossible. And I'm like, it's not, but because of where you are, you're seeming to not want it to be possible, things like that. So I try to give the possibilities, and I probably don't make everyone so happy at times, because I'm not just being like, you poor thing, and like patting their head. Like, that's not who I am. I want to see an outcome to something. I want to give them a goal line. And if they're on step A and they want to skip right to step C without going to step B,
Yeah.
and that doesn't work.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and that's just it, right? And at the end of the day, the best that we can do is just provide the advice, provide the suggestions, because we can't force anyone to do what it is that we suggest, right? All we can do is like say again, like, look, this is what I've seen from my experiences. works, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I suggest that you do. Whether you do that or not is completely up to you at that point, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've had a lot of close friends and things like that too. That over time, I've seen them, struggling with certain things or this, that, and the other, and I'm like, hey, like, this is just my 2 cents. Obviously, do with it what you will. But I think that there is in giving advice, there's a skill to be had there, the very good soft skill in terms of knowing how to properly give feedback and advice to people. But on the flip side, there's also a very important soft skill to have, which is taking feedback and being able to accept that feedback and accept that advice and internalize it. And maybe it doesn't fit for you 100%, but I think sometimes taking that advice and figuring out how it does fit for you and how to move forward with that advice that's been given rather than just throwing it back in the face of the giver, And
like Timmy, he's been to several, and there is a guy that felt his country was misrepresented when I was talking about one of the countries, and there was a guy that was from that country, and I skipped some of the things because I couldn't fit all of it, and he's like, well, you forgot this and that's not right. And I said, I'm sorry, I didn't have 5 extra hours to research that specific thing. And I'm sorry, I skipped over that important part. So, I mean, I have had issues like that. But then also he said, I have an impressive job staying calm when I have a hostile chat. And I think that I learned that from being a mother, but I lose it a little bit more in motherhood. But I will say, for instance, I teach my children, and I was just talking to them this week, I want you to be teachable, to be willing to be corrected, and to be willing to see where you're wrong at times instead of thinking you're right in everything. And I said, and I try to do that too. And it's not always easy because I try to see the big picture, but, my ego wants to have its say, So, but I told them, don't let your ego get in the way in those things. You've got to be willing to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't know everything on this subject. There's some things that we might know loads of, and it's you have no idea. I really know this. But then there's other times it's oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I should look into that, or maybe you're right. And so I said, you got to be open to correction. So that's my number one thing, I believe. And so many people, they don't like to be wrong. They don't like to be told what to do. And then they do it the way that they think it is, and it's not going to work out completely because they're going to stumble too much trying to get to that.
Absolutely. And in a lot of cases, they'll double down on it even. They know that they're wrong, but the pride prevents them from being able to accept that. And so rather than even just being quiet, they'll double down on being wrong. And I feel like we see that a lot today too, which is unfortunate to see. And
I feel like there's a lot of different reasons for it too. Sometimes you can say it's the way you were brought up, or other times you could have been brought up in a perfect household, and maybe you're just that type of person that everything came to you so easily. You always got it. You always did the right thing. And the moment that you're faced with something that you aren't as good at, or you aren't comfortable with, or you aren't familiar with, and you don't know how to react because you've never had that experience growing up, it can be scary as opposed to something that can make you upset or angry. And in not refusing to recognize it or anything to that degree, it could be just as unhealthy as lashing out, because you're hurting yourself as opposed to hurting someone else over it now. So, but it's tough, sometimes it's tough.
And I think it's important to learn from observation. For instance, growing up, one of my brothers, he just talked, and he didn't listen to reason or things that were suggested to him. And I would just listen because I'm the youngest child, so I would just listen to everything they were. So I learned a lot from them and the things that they were going through, or maybe even their mistakes. And so I think, I was taught growing up that you have 2 ears to listen, 1 mouth to speak. So listen twice as much as you do speak. Yet at the same time, I was also taught to be seen and not heard. So it's okay.
You got to pick and choose. Where's the nuggets of wisdom, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's okay, that makes sense. I've got to listen more. And I also individually, I have the habit of where I just want to speak. And so I've learned over the past few years, especially, to be more of a listener. And there have been people who have said to me like, "Hey, thanks for listening, and you're really good at listening," or, "I appreciate that you heard me out here." And so, that's some place where I needed correction or a learning curve. And I think that's why I say people have to be willing to be corrected. And if they need help with something, it's okay to ask for help if they really are struggling with something and don't know what to do. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is, again, for some people, something very difficult. I know for myself it is. Sometimes it's difficult for me because I've always been in a position where I've been the one that has to be responsible for others. And so it's difficult for me, I think, sometimes to take that step back and say, like, I need somebody to help me because I am struggling, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. Because Ram and I obviously are brothers. I'm the oldest. And so like I was always the babysitter growing up. I was always kind of the one that was in charge when mom and dad weren't home and things like that. And
he was the one to burn the popcorn.
I still do. I still burn the popcorn. That's a whole other story. But yeah, it's difficult, right? And I think for some people, it is nature versus nurture to a certain extent, right? So some of it is, who you are innately as a person, and then some of it is the circumstances in which you were raised. Whether that's your parents, your siblings, family, friends, if you go to church, it's people that you interact with at church, or, it's a million different things, right? It's that whole, it takes a village, mentality, right? And so I think some of that is kind of nurture. Who do you have around you that's in your corner, that's there to support you, that's there to lift you up, that's there to teach you the proper things that you need to know to be a functional, good human being, and not somebody who's out there just causing mayhem and chaos for everybody that they interact with. But it's tricky. Yeah.
And so, JusticePirate, being the youngest in your family, then, would you say that that's kind of what's given you, I don't want to say an edge, but maybe the inspiration to become a life coach, or do you draw from any of those experiences in that profession?
I think so. My brothers are almost 10 years older than me, and one is 6 years older than me. And I will say, like, even the one that's the middle child, he has many times said, like, sometimes I feel like you're older than me. But I think it's because my life choices over time. I got married at 20. I had kids early on. And so I think my life experience made me mature in some ways faster. And so even when I was in like high school, I think because I decided certain things early on in my life, like I don't want to do this, I want to do this, and I had confidence in those things, it helped me have a little bit of an understanding of what was going on around me. And again, I was observant. And so, when friends, maybe they were going through certain things and they were just trying all these things, but I was already set on, like, I'm not going to try this. I'm not going to, I think that helped me learn a little bit more about life around me. And then the fact that, like I said, my brothers being older and their friends being around me, you learn from their stories, from what they were going through. And so I do think that being the youngest child did teach me a lot. But I also think I was around different people at different times, and different people raised me at different times too. And I think that helped. Plus, I took a peer mediation, like in high school.
Yeah.
It was not really a course. It was like they chose 12 people in the entire school to give 2 weeks of training. And then they were the ones that had to deal with the conflict in the school. So they would mediate between fights and different arguments. And that really was inspiring to me to try to, like, okay, I have to see this person's viewpoint and this person. Well, which one is right? And what questions can we, and everything's a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And it's all communication. So I think that that's where, be observant, understanding, and communicate properly. And all the problems that happen is usually because there was a miscommunication, a misunderstanding, and then people, they get hurt, or they think about something that maybe isn't really how it was portrayed or meant to be.
Right.
And so, everyone's on edge.
That's really
That
cool,
sounds
though.
really progressive
We
for,
never
like, an
had
early
anything like
2000s
that in
thing,
school.
yeah.
If there's conflicts, you just went to the principal and they dealt with it. But that's a really cool concept. I kind of wish that they had that in our school. I mean,
Agreed.
I think there's certain people, obviously, that might not have taken it the way that it's meant to be, but I think it's valuable, right? Because it teaches you as a child and as a teenager about conflict resolution, which is an invaluable skill to have, both in your personal and in your professional life, right? You're always going to run into people that are going to come again from a different background, different viewpoint. And you need to be able to, like you say, be able to communicate effectively, avoid those miscommunications, and be able to effectively state your position, your point of view, but also, like you say, be willing to be teachable and understand that just because your viewpoint is one that you've had for a long time may not necessarily make it right. And as new information comes up, new information comes to light, I think we need to be open to the possibility of growth and change, including our own points of view.
And I want to just add, it's very impressive that you basically had a game plan for yourself at that age of you knew what you wanted to do and how you wanted to get there. Because at that age, I think I was still, I don't know, trying to figure out why I just never wore anything but jeans. And
it's true. He wore nothing but jeans, like no shirts.
I still pretty
just
much
jeans.
Okay.
Just jeans.
Nothing wrong with jeans.
Just jeans. Yeah.
But I mean, it like, what I mean to say is I find it very impressive and very admirable that you've taken what you grew up with and your collection of everything and what has inspired you and what you have seen and observed and been cognizant of at that age and still carry that through, but help other people with that today. And I find that very admirable and very inspirational. So thank you.
Yeah. And Casey even said earlier about having like empathy. And if you don't have empathy, you can't help anyone.
Yeah.
So.
True. Yeah. It's all got to be based in empathy, right? It's got to be focused on helping the person, not making yourself look like a helper. Right. Yeah.
People both tall and small.
Segue. Speaking
of, we've got one last segment that we like to do with all of our guests. And for those that have been here for a while, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little game that we like to call Famously Tall. And the way that this game works is, and I'm going to show the leaderboard here as well. The way that this game works is we are going to show you two celebrities. We're going to stick them side by side, and your job is simple. Just tell me who's taller. That's it. Regardless of whether or not you are right or wrong, whichever celebrity actually is taller will move forward into our next set. We've got 20 sets total of celebrities for you to look at. The goal, obviously, is to score as many correct answers as possible, but we do time it as well. So in the event that we do get a tie, like you'll see here from this season's leaderboard, both Daddy Reynolds and Mark A. Macaluso both got 12 correct out
Those
of
are
20.
Smart men.
Yeah, but Daddy Reynolds did it 27 seconds faster, so that put him higher up on the board. So again, I mean, take whatever time you need. Don't be Googling stuff because that's cheating or whatnot. But
my hands are here.
Yeah, as long as we can see your hands.
So far, the show record is 14 at a minute 30.
Is it 14 or is it 13? I thought it was 13. I think it's only 13. Yeah, Cup of Kiwi currently holds the all-time record at 13 correct. I can't remember exactly what the time is. I'd have to look at it.
Wait, he's not on the leaderboard?
Not for this season. He was in season 2. We're on season 3. So this is the season 3 leaderboard. But he has the overall high time score. I should probably put that on here. Like, here's the score to be.
He's very good at understanding heights. You know, he's 6 foot something.
What is he? 6'7"? Is that what he's?
6'7", or is it 7'6"? Yeah, one of those.
He's ridiculously tall online. So
yeah, online.
Online. All right.
6'7". There we go.
There it is. That's what I thought. Yeah, I know tall people.
Such a tall lad.
Yeah. Yeah, he says he's 6'7", almost 26. Oh, yeah, he's been almost 26 for like 3 years.
3 years.
He's been that way for a while.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
All right, so let me reset the score here from last time. I forgot to do that. Where's my score reset button?
Oh, I love how this is very like 80s game show. This is great.
Right? That's how we roll. It's how we roll.
It's even got like the more you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do. Yeah. All right. So you let me know when you're ready. I will start the timer, and then we'll be on our way.
Any questions before we
Oh yeah,
begin?
any questions?
Do the people in the chat? Yes. Do the people in the chat think I'm short or tall?
That's a good question. Chat, short or tall, Justice Pirate?
Am I short or tall?
He needs the
Are
height
we
to
saying-
carry around that chariot.
Are we saying short is anything below 5'5"? What do we classify as
want-
small?
Also, welcome in,
What do
Diesel
you-
Weasel.
In general, or compared to Rob?
I mean, we could always bring Rob in too and see if he's tall or short.
But then if people don't know how tall Rob is, again,
Yeah.
I mean, it only gives you a reference point to Rob. But I
This
mean,
is
if
true.
Rob could be like 7 feet tall, and then
Yeah.
Justice Pirate could be shorter or taller than that, right? Depending
Yeah.
on how tall she is in relation to Rob Steady. So just saying, saying. Why are we parading Rob around like a?
He's okay with it. He's very confident in his height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diesel Weasel says 5'7". Okay.
So he says tall. All right.
Yeah. I know roughly how tall you are because again, I've met you in person. So I mean, I know how tall I am, and I know how tall you are compared to me.
Kitty says tall.
Kitty says tall.
I guess I have like tall vibes.
Got them tall vibes.
You got tall energy.
These used to be in the measuring stick. That's beautiful.
See, I'm 187 centimeters. So
Oh, we're going by centimeters? Okay.
Ram
I know
is.
my centimeters.
Yeah. I think I'm
So
trying
I
to
could
remember
do
what mine is.
both for you guys.
I'd have to look at my
but I-
driver's license to see how tall I am in centimeters. I can't recall offhand.
Kiwi
'Cause-
says
Wow,
they're
you're
200.
200. Wow, so tall.
Yeah.
I
I'm
guess
100.
those are the only guesses. That's okay.
I'm
I mean,
178 centimeters. Yeah.
oh,
Clover gets tall
Welcome in,
energy
Clover.
too, despite being quite short.
yeah.
Well,
Okay,
should we move forward with the game?
I'll
and then
I'll
after
reveal.
we'll come
Oh,
back.
yeah, I can reveal later.
Yeah.
If you want to get
do
more
the
guesses
after
in,
reveal.
maybe. Yeah. Let's reveal after. So
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Let me make sure that I'm also ready here. Get my finger on the button. All right.
I'm ready to cheer on silently.
All right, and here we go. Best of luck.
I probably don't know any of these people, so this is going to be great.
That's what makes it more fun, right?
All right.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Best of luck. Here we go. All right, first up, we have Jada Pinkett Smith and Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga's taller.
Lady Gaga is correct. Lady Gaga or Hilary Duff?
Hillary Duff.
Correct. Hilary Duff or Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Hillary Duff.
Incorrect. Julia Louis-Dreyfus or Amelia Clark?
Julia, whatever.
Yep,
Dreyfus.
that is correct. Julia Louis-Dreyfus or Kevin Hart?
Julia Dreyfus.
Correct. Julia or Scott Caan?
Scott Can. I don't know him, but
Scott
sure.
Caan is correct. Scott Caan or Martin Lawrence?
Oh.
You still have Julia up.
Oh, geez.
We're
What's
going to do
going on?
Martin.
Hold on. Something went
I
squirrely
said
here.
Martin.
Oh, there it is.
Are we pausing? Am I losing time here?
on.
I said Martin. Is he?
Yeah, Martin's taller.
Oh,
Sorry, what
no.
did you say, Ram? Was it still on the old screen? Okay, sorry
Yeah,
about that.
When you said that Rob was taller,
right.
it still had Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Fine.
and
Okay.
Martin Short.
Martin Lawrence or
Okay.
Jennifer Garner?
Jennifer Garner.
Correct. Jennifer Garner or Sir Elton
Jennifer
John?
Garner.
Correct. Jennifer Garner or Julia Roberts?
Ooh, Jennifer Garner.
No. Julia Roberts or Tilda Swinton?
Tilda Swinton.
Correct. Tilda Swinton or Nick Offerman?
Ooh, Tilda.
No. Nick Offerman or Chris Evans?
Nick Offerman.
No. Chris Evans or Keanu Reeves?
Chris Evans.
Incorrect. Keanu
my
Reeves
goodness.
or Henry Cavill?
Keanu Reeves.
Correct. Keanu Reeves or Jane Lynch?
Jane Lynch.
Incorrect. Keanu Reeves or Alan Rickman?
Alan Rickman.
Incorrect. Keanu Reeves or
my
Sean
goodness.
Connery?
Keanu Reeves.
No, sorry. It's Sean Connery, but I think I hit the button. Sean Connery or Gwendolyn
horrible.
Christie?
I don't know who that is. I'm going to say her. I don't know who she is.
That is correct. Gwendolyn Christie or Samuel L. Jackson?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Incorrect. All right.
Okay.
Let me hit the pause button here.
I got a lot wrong.
Okay, I'm going to have to go back and double check the
was gonna
scoring there.
say,
But
We're gonna have to knock a couple seconds off of that.
I lose because I didn't know some of these people.
I'll trim 10 seconds off of that. I think that's probably roughly how much we lost, 10 to 15
I'm
seconds.
sorry.
That's okay. I'll have to double check the score as well, but I think 11 is the correct number because I did hit it accidentally once, but then when you got Gwendolyn right, I didn't hit it that time, so that way it would balance out.
Yeah, I didn't know who that person was, that Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
Oh, Timmy. Oh,
Oh no, Timmy, that's so dark.
That's so mean.
That's so dark. Oh man.
Who is Gwendolyn? What's she been in?
Game of
was
Thrones
in
is probably
Game
her
of
most
Thrones,
popular.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, she played Brienne of Tarth. Yeah, as Kappa
Okay.
mentioned. Yeah. Too soon, Timmy.
All right.
That's true. She also is Captain Phasma. Is it Phasma or is it Phasma? I thought it was Phasma with an A.
I don't know what that
It's
is.
from the more
either.
recent Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've
Phasma.
seen that.
Yeah.
I remember now. Okay. Well, for the answer to the question about if I'm tall or short, I am tall. I am 5'9",
Mhm.
or I am 175.4 centimeters.
There you go, chat.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
So let's see.
That's how
Going
it
back
is.
to the leaderboard then.
I did not get there.
Going back to the leaderboard. So
Yeah,
that
you made it on the leaderboard.
Ubermutt and I are tied.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be pretty much tied there, I think.
Yeah.
So like I'll go back and I'll rewatch the segment afterwards, and
If
I'll
I
trim
fail,
however
I'm
much
so
time needs to
sorry,
be
everyone.
trimmed. No, that's totally fine. I'll trim however much time needs to be trimmed off of your score, based on us kind of floundering around there for a minute. And make sure that 11 is the correct number. So you're going to be right in there, though, probably somewhere in third place, possibly fourth place, depending on how much time we get trimmed.
I
But
just know Jennifer Garner's around my height, so I was basing everything off
Oh,
her.
smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
yeah,
I know Jane Lynch is pretty tall.
the hate's real. This is great. Go Sith on Phasma. That's fair. That's fair. Amazing. Well, thank you again so much for being here. Just again, once more for the people, where can we find you? When are you often streaming? Yeah.
You can find me every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time on Justice Pirate Twitch channel.
Absolutely. I think I did pin it. I don't know if it disappeared already. It might have disappeared, but there
It
it
is
is.
go.
not pinned.
It
I got you.
Oh, I think because
I
I
don't need
had
to
it. There we go. I'm going to
Okay.
go manually unpin. I think I had it set to customized time before. So there it is. Please, if you're not already following Justice Pirate, do yourself a huge, huge favor. Wonderful human being, very dear friend. Thank you so much again for being willing to jump on the show with us. We had a lot of fun and got to learn a little bit more about you. So we love to see it. We love to see it.
And I have a YouTube channel as well. It's
Oh, you
mainly
do?
Yes.
vlogs, and
Okay.
I have a tiny bit of podcast stuff. It's
Do you have a
mainly about.
link? Do you have a link
my
we can share?
It's Justice Pirate.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So
youtube.com/Justice Pirate.
slash Justice Pirate.
I got you.
All right.
Got you.
Appreciate you,
Hold
Ray.
on.
Yeah.
I got you.
So as we raid out as well, generally when we have a guest on the stream, we like to see if there's anyone that you would like for us to raid to. So
Oh.
I'll give you a moment or two if you want to take a quick peek and see who's online.
I don't really have many people on.
Fair.
So I'm gonna say you choose because I don't know. I don't follow a lot of people.
Fair. All right. Well, let's take a look and see who is on then. And
5'4" is a lovely height. One killer kitty.
right.
I'm 3 inches taller than my husband, maybe even a little more, but we don't really know his height. But yeah, he's shorter than I.
Short Kings.
Love to see it.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I like
here.
the short people. They're my friends.
How about Gloop Dog? He's doing his karaoke game. Does that work for you?
If you
Justice
would
Pirate?
like, that is fine.
Yeah. All right.
I
Let's
have
do it.
met the Gloop in real life.
Have you?
as well.
Oh. Now, how
Yes.
tall is he? See, he's
He is tall.
Is he tall? All right.
I'd say he's about 6'1", 6'2",
Okay.
maybe.
So
maybe.
pretty close to Ram's height then.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know for sure, but he's definitely 6 foot or up.
Okay. Checks out. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance to meet him. I don't know if he's coming to TwitchCon Vegas or not. I know he was thinking about it for a while. A lot of it depended on kind of what was going to happen with him for work. Because as some of you may know, he was working in the movie and television industry. And obviously with them being on strike, it makes it difficult to work. So I think he's actually starting a new gig tomorrow. He's going back to, I think he said mortgage banking was what he used to do a long time ago.
Oh.
So a bit of a shift.
Wow.
So,
Well, you know, if it brings in the moolah, go for it.
there it is. Oh, holy smokes. We got to end a stream here. Dono as well from One Killer Kitty to Extra Life, $55. Thank you so
Very
much.
nice.
We love to see it. We really appreciate that. It's all for the kids for a very
Help
important
the
cause.
kids.
All
I
for
have
the
3 kids, so I help those kids.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Very kind, Kitty. Very, very kind. Thank you. Can't thank you enough.
Big time. And
But,
thank you, Justice Pirate, as well, for taking
yes,
time out
yeah.
of your day to be here as well. For
You're
allowing
very
us
welcome.
for allowing us to adjust to it being a Sunday show as opposed to a Monday evening show as well, so that we were able to get you on, and
Yeah.
we are very happy to have had you here. Thank you,
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Absolutely. We had a blast. Hopefully you had a lot of fun too.
I did.
Excellent. Love to hear it. All right. Any parting words before we hit the raid button here?
Be kind to one another.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Don't spit in the wind.
That too. But first
Because
and
that's
foremost,
not kind. It will go in your friend's face.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, with that said, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find there it is. The end credits button here. All right. Well, have a great Sunday, everyone. Thank you so much again for being here. Again, keep your eyes peeled for early November. We've got a very big event planned for Extra Life, CaseyCon 2023. We're going to have a bunch of people come on and stream and help us fundraise more money for the Children's Hospital. And we've got a cool giveaway planned as well. If we reach $5,000 US raised before the end of the year, we're going to give away a Valve Steam Deck. So pretty cool prize, I think. Pretty cool. So definitely stay tuned for more details on that. But the schedule is up. I think I posted it in Discord if you want to see who's streaming when. But it's going to be a great event. I'm really looking forward to it. And a huge shout out to everybody who has already supported Extra Life, both monetarily and otherwise. People have been fantastic about spreading the word and getting the message out there. It's a really important cause to me, being children's hospitals and children's health, as a father myself, and having had a lot of family and friends, including Ram, who spent a significant amount of time in a children's hospital growing up. And without the fine folks there, we might not have him today.
You did.
So
I did.
Spent roughly 2 weeks, I think, if memory serves.
Longer than
2-ish?
that.
Wow.
Oh, true. Yeah.
It was much longer
That must
than
have been
that.
difficult. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It was
it's
not
all
a great time. Not a great
I'm
time.
here,
but
and
I'm so glad.
it's changed me for the better personality wise.
Yeah, the staff there were absolutely stellar. And so any way that we have to give back to them, honestly, I'm all for it. So again, huge thank you. Not even just for those that I've supported this year, but in years past as well. This is my 6th year fundraising. So big shout out. You guys are amazing. Thank you to this amazing community. I love every one of you. So thank you so much. And thanks for being here. Thanks for keeping us company on the show. Let's go share the love now with Gloop, and we'll catch you cool cats again very soon.
Land ho!
Bye.